Hey everybody, this is Roy Bandari with TalkCondo.com, and today I am thrilled to be joined by Chris Castellano, the VP of Sales and Marketing of Camrost, for the fourth and last time in the Exchange District. So Chris, thank you very much.
Roy, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. What a journey it's been.
No, it's been amazing. Well, we spoke here for the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, and just to sort of, we've got a really special tie to this project. My dad bought a unit in the first building. My brother bought a unit in the second building.
Yep.
It's been a project that...
Still waiting for you to buy a unit, Roy. What's going on here?
But it's a project that we've been very connected to. We love Mississauga. We love the growth in Mississauga. It's a project that we've, the clients who listened to us and bought units in the Exchange District will be very, very pleased with their investment. And we're going to get into all of that. But let's start and talk about probably the most important thing that we always talk about at the beginning is the developer.
Yes.
When you buy a new condo, before you're buying building, before you're buying a location, you are buying the developer.
Correct. It's sort of like any time, startups are all the rage now. Everyone wants to invest in a startup. Watching Dragon's Den, Shark Tank, all this stuff. And it's the same thing when an investor says, I don't invest in the company, I invest in the ownership.
Yeah.
Right? Same idea here. Of course, you're buying a location, you're buying a suite, but you're also buying in with Camrost. And over the past 45 years, Camrost has been such a prolific developer, and we've consistently delivered on everything we've promised to purchasers. I think you're starting to see that. We have a ton of repeat purchasers, even with, I believe you guys, we've had some individuals from Talk Condo, some of your clients who have bought pretty regularly in all three of our buildings up to this point, and soon the fourth, that have shown us that trust and respect to what we've been able to accomplish over the past 45 years. And that comes in no small part due to the fact that we are a vertically integrated developer, right? We handle pretty much everything in-house. So everything from acquisitions to planning, rezoning, development, marketing, sales, construction with our in-house CamCorp construction team. Really all of that allows us to have a firm grip on our projects from start to finish, to ensure that the quality we're delivering is there and worthy of the Camrost name, and to ensure that we stick to timelines, budgets, and basically what was the vision that was sold to individuals at the start. So to your point, I think it's in today's environment, I think it's so important for individuals to look at the developer they're essentially partnering with
100%,
on their purchases and their investments.
Yeah, look, I think if you look at this piece of land, 4 towers, you look across the GTA. Any builder could put together 4 buildings. But what makes this, and what we believe is going to make this probably the best in class in Mississauga set of buildings, it's not just the residential component, it's the retail component.
Correct.
It's the suite design, it's the amenities. All of these things come together, and that's why we believe that this sort of community is going to be probably the best that Mississauga will have.
And that's what happens after you have the pedigree that Camrost has. Developing and delivering 80 buildings and 20,000 units and 2 million square feet of office and retail space has allowed us the ability to see how people live in their space and to see how buildings need to interact with each other, right? When David Feldman bought this piece of land way back when, he looked at it not for the office building that it was at the time, but for the internationally acclaimed urban community that this can become. And by working with the best consultants like BDP out of London, England, IBI Group from here in Toronto, Made Collective, Diverso, everyone else, we were able to put together a very strong offering. And what was so important to us in the Exchange District, and you'll see that bleed through into EXS, is this idea about livability. You and I have talked a lot, and your brother as well have talked a lot about how we put all the parking underground, which is something you don't regularly see in Mississauga because it has a bit more of a suburban sort of development mindset. But we put all the parking underground because we want to make sure that the pedestrian realm, that ground floor feel is there as if you're in a downtown center, as if you're in a downtown core. And it's those little choices that make all the difference for residents later on. It's those little choices that'll make this the sought-after node in Mississauga. Yeah,
and just to tie this all together, I don't think there's very many developers that could have put together this scale of development on this parcel of land. So big hats off to Camrost. I think it's a very special project. I want to talk about Mississauga.
Yes.
This location within Mississauga is probably the special location in Mississauga. It is, we always sort of refer to the Yorkville of, because it's easy for us to connect those dots.
Exactly.
But this parcel of land really is, if you were going to say one area was the Yorkville of Mississauga, this would be it.
Correct.
It's closest to square one. You've got jobs surrounding it. You've got transit coming in nearby.
Yes.
You've got all those pieces. So talk to us about this location and what makes this location so
Sure.
special.
So I mean, you did a great job of introducing the location, but what's fantastic about it is it's one thing to say you're next to square one.
Yeah.
It's another thing like us to be directly across the street from it. And it's an even better thing for us to say we're directly across the street from the high-end section of Square One, right? So with Square One, which is an incredible retail amenity for our purchasers, you've got access to the best shops in Canada, you've got access to some of the best restaurants, you've got access to so much that goes on in Square One with all their activations and whatnot.
Yeah.
On top of that, in terms of locations to municipal amenities like parks, arenas, civic centers, you have all that.
Celebration Square.
Celebration Square is walking distance. Town Hall is walking distance. Living Arts Center is walking distance. I've actually attended a bunch of shows at Living Arts. Like big names go through Living Arts, right? So it's an incredible amenity to have that close to Exchange District. You've got Korea Park just to the south, an incredibly manicured park. So and then you've got about 20 parks between a 10 and 15 minute bike ride or walk from the site. Also, you've got the upcoming Huron-Ontario LRT that's going to be coming. That's just a short 3-minute walk away from our site. You've got access to 3 major highways. That's a short commute away. Like, we could go on for hours and hours just talking about how great the location is, but at the end of the day, it really is at the epicenter of it all, and it will become a Yorkville, the Yorkville of Mississauga. And it's not just because it has access to shops. What's incredible about Yorkville in Toronto is that it's one of the last true villages in the city of Toronto. With its alleyways and its restaurants and its cafes, it feels like a little hub, like a little node. And that's the essence of what we transposed into Exchange District. We're bringing in Zaza Coffee, oddly enough, in Yorkville. We're bringing in Biblos, internationally acclaimed Biblos. We're bringing in Edo Sushi. We're bringing in a grocery retailer. We're bringing in a boutique hotel in EXS. And we're recreating that village feel, that community feel in this master plan development.
And even those names you mentioned, they're all elevated names.
Yes,
right.
Yes,
that's it.
It was very important for us, and I know your brother and I talked about it a lot because every time we launch, he's like, "Who's going in? Who's going in?"
It's important. It's important.
It is, but the reason we've released those in a slow drip is because we tirelessly wanted to curate the caliber of product and the caliber of business we're partnering with in Exchange District. Because we are, at essence, condominium developers, everything is for the condominium at the end of the day. So we're not looking at the quick buck. We're looking at what can give us the best resident experience here, because we've got such a huge pipe in the future. We want to make sure that people know that we do things right at Camrost.
I love it. Let's talk about EXS.
Let's do it.
It's the 4th building.
Final building.
The last one.
The last chapter.
That we know of.
This is it. The last dance, baby. This is MJ on a couch.
So this one is different from the others.
Correct.
In a very unique way.
Yes.
So I want you to tell us a little bit about what makes EXS different from 1, 2, and 3, and how we landed at this building.
Yes. So EXS, even the name itself. So we had EX1, EX2, EX3. The name EXS stands for Exchange Signature Residences. So what we did was we really cherry-picked the best parts of EX1, 2, 3 and combined it into this boutique building. On top of that, this is the building that hosts our hotel that we're bringing. So can't divulge who the operator is yet, but similarly to how we work tirelessly to bring proper restaurants, we're in talks to bring a very high-end hotel operator here. Now, how EXS is differentiated from the other ones and what makes it a level above is really threefold, we'll say. One, the level of service that EXS will have access to thanks to its boutique hotel in it. Secondly, the level of finishes that's going to be in it. And lastly, the fact that it has access to such a great host of amenities. And I'm talking building amenities, not necessarily the retail and municipal amenities we've already talked about. So with regards to the service leveling, because the boutique hotel is in this building, we're able to piggyback off that and offer purchasers and residents the ability to select and choose what hotel services they'd want. Everything from room service to housekeeping service to turn down services, dog walking, personal concierge lifestyle management, front of the line ticket access. All of these will be available. And, these are the types of services you will typically only find in a place like Yorkville, right? And you will only find in these high-end centers. And truthfully, when you look at Mississauga, this is an offering that just doesn't exist.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
It doesn't exist in Mississauga, but Mississauga deserves it.
Yeah.
Because when we look at the hard facts of household income based on the census, when you look at employment rates, when you look at spending habits, there really isn't that much of a difference between downtown Toronto and Mississauga. Your household rates are off a couple of $1,000. In terms of rental rates, when we first started this journey, we were in the double digits in terms of gap between rental rates in Mississauga and Toronto. Now we're down to single digits, very close to being kif. So, Mississauga deserves a product like this. And when you consider that it's one of the largest cities in Canada and it doesn't have this, it's quite astonishing. So service level is a big thing. Level of finish, so this being our final chapter and a more elevated service level, we're also bringing higher end finishes to this. So we've got Miele appliances, Kohler plumbing fixtures, Trevisana imported kitchens, everything you would expect to see in a very high-end Camross building. And then lastly, the amenities. So not only do you have access to all these district amenities around you, but you have access to the 20,000 square foot Exchange Club, the basketball court, the pool, the rooftop terraces, the barbecues, really enough amenities to make your head spin. And then on top of that, EXS has access to its own proprietary amenities, which are work from home spaces, meeting rooms, private pods, all that. As we're seeing society evolve and as we're seeing jobs have much more of a telecommuting aspect, it was important for us to have work from home spaces and meeting rooms and co-working spaces in the building should residents feel like they want to get out of their condo to work.
Love it. I mean, like you said, Mississauga doesn't have anything like this. Having lived in one of the hotels downtown, hotel residences downtown, I can tell you that the lifestyle is elevated to a different level for 100%. So I think
it's incredible because it's something you only really experience once you've experienced it. Because it's easy for you and I to sit here and tell purchasers and tell individuals like, hey, listen, this is a service like you've never had before. And I've done it. I've given the pitch, and then I finally moved into one of these places, and it truly is night and day.
It's amazing.
It's so different. You actually take a step back. After about 2 months living in one of these places, I was like, oh my God. It's all true. It's all true.
We've mentioned the word elevated earlier, but you can tell just everything about this building is elevated, and I think it's going to be a stunning building. We cannot wait to sell it.
Amazing.
Chris, if our clients are interested, what do they have to do?
They got to contact Roy and Amit and the rest of the team at Talk Condo for first access.